Okay, on to the next part. Alright, we're gonna do really cool stuff now. Okay, so you've downloaded your Epic Games in your Unreal Engine, and it's time to download pre-made characters. So I recommend going to Mixamo.com. And Mixamo.com belongs to the Adobe library. So it's pretty much just some pre-made 3D characters and animations that you can try out essentially. We'll probably ask you to log in, so log in, and once you've done that, you can head on to Browse Characters. And now I'd recommend you choosing like a protagonist, like the character you want to play as. It can be anything you want really, it's really up to you. Let's choose someone who might be using a sword or magic. Maybe vampire? No, vampires don't use swords, do they? Or maybe some do. War zombie, nope. Let's go with the... choices. We definitely don't want to play as the zombie. This girl seems pretty cool. Okay, let's try this girl. So you just click her and then use this character. It will take quite a bit to load up because it's like loading the entire character model in here, but you should be able to see it. Oh wait, that's not the wrong, that's the incorrect. Oh, let's try that again, shall we? Oh, yep, it should be the Rosales. Use this character, okay. Okay, yep, you've got your 2D character in here now. Texture should be loading soon. You can hold your left mouse button and then click, hold, and then, yeah, just to pan around the character. Her texture should be downloading soon. You can also hold your scroll button on your mouse, then move up and down. Cool. Yeah, she seems pretty cool. I can imagine her with a sword and a fireball, you know? Can do, can do. Yep, once you've chosen your main protagonist, your character, you just click download here. You click T-Pose, FBX, you download. Alright, that should be downloading. And let's take this opportunity to create a folder. So this will be just separate to the project folder of your tutorials series. So you can just place this anywhere on your desktop really. Just gonna say GDC tutorial follow. Okay, we just open that. And this should have finished downloading, so you just grab that wherever that was placed. Oh, my directories are very messy, I apologize. Yeah, it should be this one. And we just go back, and you can create a folder called assets. And within that folder, you can create a folder called player, so just to keep things organized for later on. And then you'll have her. Okay. You go back to your tutorial series, you go to your content browser, then I would recommend going back to the top level content. You can create a folder called My Assets, just in capitals, so it just helps you know which ones are, you know, custom assets, if that makes sense. Then you go back to where you downloaded the file, and then you just drag it onto here. Once you've done that, take this on, geometry and skinning weights, and then you just click import all, copy these settings if you can. Yep, then once you're done, import all, and that should be importing your character. Okay, and then I recommend clicking Save All here in the content browser. Texture should be loading up. Oh, she's kind of like a ghost right now. Let's see, so you can double click that. Oh wow, that's very scary. I mean, it's up to you if you want a character like this. But we can do something. Go back to your content browser. So it created like a skeletal mesh. It also created like a physics asset that goes with the skeletal mesh. And it created the skeleton, but it also created the material. So the material is composed of the normal map, the specular map, and the diffuse map just all into one. So these three kind of plug into here. You can create a folder called materials or texture. So you can just drag that all in here, these four. Go back to materials and we can open the materials. It will have the brackets material there. Double click that. Okay, so it should give you something like this. So Unreal Engine tried to plug in the materials as best as it can. Might not have been perfect. So yeah, the diffuse goes into the base color. And then the normal map here goes into normal. I'm not sure why diffuse is in opacity here. That's very strange. Usually you'll have something called Kachujian opacity. So let's just delete this. And then your specular goes into specular. Then once that's done, you can also click here. Because at first, it was trying to do it as translucent as if it was like glass, something you can see through. The character isn't really something you can see through per se, so we just put that opaque, meaning it's not like glass in a sense. And then we just click save. That should be saving and that should be fixed. So yeah, it's not transparent anymore. If we go back to content browser, the girl should be not like glass anymore, so that's great. We love that. Okay. Yep. Cool. Okay. So we can just close the material, close the skeletal mesh, close message log. Now, I want you to locate where the third person character is. So from memory, it should be in content, third person BP, blueprint, and then third person character here, because that'll be essentially the character that we're using to play with, but we're going to replace the default mannequin with the character that we got right now. So from here, I'd recommend dragging these two, click those two, Control or Shift, and then left click to drag and put them in my assets, and then move here. So again, if you don't have this yet, that should be this button here. You can just click my assets, and you can create a new folder called player just to keep things organized. Control A, then just drag everything in there, you know. Cool. Right, save all, just make sure you save everything. Now we're gonna reopen third person character here. All right. Yep, and then you click viewport, and then you click mesh. And here in skeletal mesh, so as you recall before, it made a skeletal mesh, which is here in brackets. Then we just look for that person. So Kachujin G Rosales. We just click her to replace. Sounds good. And when you press Alt P or the play button, you should have this character. So yay, congratulations, you now have a custom character, but T-posing. You know, very intimidating. Now we're gonna plug in some animations into your custom character. Okay, press S to get out of that. Alright. Okay, this might be a good time for me to mention a plugin that's really good that I found for Unreal Engine. So you can open your Epic Games launcher here. Open that, then you can head to your marketplace in Unreal Engine. And I recommend searching for graph, and it should be something called graph formatter. I would recommend adding this and installing this to engine. It'll ask you to install it to an engine, and you just point it to the version that you're using. So yeah, whichever one you launch the game with. And once that's installed, you can click install plugins here to see what is installed. You can then go back to your Unreal editor and then click Windows, or edit actually, and then plugins. Then you just search for graph formatter and then you enable it. It will ask you to restart, so yeah, let's restart. And be sure to save all the stuff first. Okay, that should be relaunching. Yeah, hopefully this tutorial series is not going for too long. Might be going for too long. It's been 30 minutes now. We're just beginning. It should be fine. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, it should reload everything. And if you search in plugins here, graph formatter should be enabled. You can also use this pop-up here to just reopen what you had from before. And everything should be fine. Yeah, everything should be fine. Okay. Alright, so for the next step, we're gonna get some animations from Mixamo.com, the godsend of website. Okay, so yeah, be sure to have your character selected here, then you click animations, and we're gonna look for a list of animations. So first, let's look for a run. I would recommend this one, actually, for the run. Let's see. Yeah, I recommend this one. So this will pretty much retarget the current animation here to your current character. Be sure to click in place as well. It's really important. Yeah. So with animations from Mixamo, it's really important that you click in place. Yep, once you've got the run animation, you just click download and be sure to click without skin and then 60 frames per second. FBX and keyframe reduction none. That should download. Yeah, Mixamo is really cool because it has so much animations that you can use for just a variety of things. Different variations of running. You even got your narrator run, you know, pretty cool. But yeah, for the purposes of the tutorial, I recommend using the sword and shield run, but if you really want to feel otherwise, feel free to do so, of course. Now we need like an idle pose. That would be when the character is like not moving, you know, so we don't have like a T-pose in a sense. Just click idle here. And we can just pick anything really. It doesn't have to be anything, I guess. I kind of like this one. Oh, that's an orc idol. That's strange. Ninja idol. Now let's go with just a woman idol, just default. Yep, she's staying still. Oh, her arms are kind of clipping. That's really strange. Let's see. Character arm space, maybe? Let's see if that changes anything. Yeah, that seems like it's doing something. Mixamo can be really powerful if you just want a quick project, in a way. 65 might be good. Yep, looks good. So we just download this without skin. These settings here. Let's also search for a jumping animation. Okay. I recommend using this one actually. This seems good. Yep, that should be the one doing this animation. Let's download that as usual. And then we search for a magic attack. Let's look for a magic attack. Okay. So yeah, I would say it's up to you which magic attack you want to use. But if you want simplicity's sake for following the tutorial, I would recommend this one. A cool thing is we can mirror it, so you cast magic from the left hand in case you want your sword on the right hand, you know? So yeah, the magic should be coming from the left hand, and we just download that. Now let's look for a sword slash. It's a basic one, really. Oh, that's cool. I like this one as well. Oh, 3-hit combo. Okay. Let's go for this one actually. So yeah, swinging right hand if your sword's in the right, magic on the left. So we'll download this one. And let's also get a death state. Feel free to pick any one you want. Oh my gosh, that's kind of extra, but I kind of like. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Cool. Right, so all of that should download. Let's head to the folder we downloaded it from, and we just select all of the 3D object files that we downloaded. And in the custom folder, so not this folder, not your project folder, in just your personal folder, you can just create a new folder called animations, and you can just paste them all in here. And then back in your project file, you can create a new folder called animations. Go into that, and you can just drag this all in there. And once you do that, a really important step is to be sure to click the correct skeleton, so that would be the character that you imported. Animation length, exported time. So yep, try to copy these settings, and then you just click import all, and it should start importing all of the animations that we included. Okay, so yeah, we'll just give this some time. Toilet break. Okay, all of that should be done importing, so let's click Save All here. And you should have your animations in there. So we can just double click that. Yeah, look like she's animating, she's moving. Lovely. Let's click running actually. Yep, there we go. Fantastic. Yippers. Alright, looks good. Okay. Alright, now we want to create default movement, so I would suggest clicking animation and then blend space 1D, clicking the skeleton that you're using, and we can just name this. Was her name Rosales? Yeah, I think it's Rosales. Rosales 1D? I think her name is Rosales. Yep, Rosales. Kachujin. I kind of like that name. Let's go with that. Kachujin. Sorry. Kachujin. Okay. We'll just double click this. And let's go into Asset Browser here and then just drag idle to the very start of this. And then we can get Sword and Shield run and drag it to like the middle. So a 1D blend space is just letting you know when to play the run and when to play the idle based on your speed. You can rename the horizontal axis to speed, and it should rename here. So yeah, if your character speed is at 100, then it's gonna be full on running. But if it's like at 0, it's gonna go to your idle pose, and anywhere in between tries to blend them, you know. But let's just put this axis value 600 actually. Yeah. Cool. Alright, so we just saved that. But it is not over yet. Let's hop into... Actually, let's play it first. Click Alt-P. Alt-P. Yep, she should still be T-posing, unfortunately. Still a few more steps to go. Alright. Now, let's open up... trying to remember where I was. Okay, yeah, let's go back into my Asset Player animations and let's create animation and then animation blueprint. We click the Kachujin skeleton and we can just name this Kachujin underscore animation blueprint, or ABP for short. Okay, you should get something like this. Alright, things will get somewhat more complex soon. Okay, now but I'll try to simplify it as much as I can. Okay, go back to your content browser and let's go back to the very base level. And we can hop into third person, I think. No, maybe not there. I think it was third person BP. Nope. Let's go to mannequin. I think it was character. Animations. Okay, yeah. Content, mannequin animations, and we'll open the third person animation blueprint. So if you've noticed, this was the original character we had. Essentially what we're going to do is copy over the animation blueprint from the original and see how it all works, so we can be able to do something similar for the Kachujin ABP. Okay, so let's go back into default. Over here, animation graph. See, this is like on the same level, both of these. And we can see here in the original that there's a state machine, so we can just copy that. So we're trying to essentially just reverse engineer how this entire thing works. This new state machine, plug into that, it will ask you recompile. A quick way to recompile is to click this, or if you click F. Oh, hello, it's Jeff from the future here. My recording stopped. But anyways, yeah, you plug this into the state machine, and we just try to reverse engineer it. So yeah, we'll copy it. Alright, so it looks like, okay, well, we'll pretend this doesn't exist because my recording skipped it. Okay, we'll pretend it doesn't exist. Okay, so you should be just seeing this like entry, right? So it seems like there's an arrow pointing here to something called idle/run. So for that, I'd recommend clicking state and then renaming this to idle/run. But I've already made one here, so let me replug that in. Okay. Oh, arrow, hello. Yep, arrow check, compile, save. Alright, so it looks like in the original when you click idle run, so it references the 1D blend space of this. If you can recall, we actually created our own 1D blend space. So let me just unplug this. It's to pretend it's my first time going through it. Yeah, so this was the blend space 1D. It's in brackets there, the one we made, which is the one, it's similar to the original one. So we just want to plug this into the output animation pose. Alright, so let's do that. So you can just type in Kachugen 1D or your 1D blend space, whichever you named it here. So that should pop up there. Okay, yeah, let me redo that step actually, just for demonstration purposes. Goes to Kachugen 1D. So you plug this in here and then you promote this to a variable and you name it speed. But unfortunately, I've already done this step. Just jet from the future, my recording cut off, unfortunately. So yeah, you just promote a variable, you name it speed, and you press enter. So I'll name it speed 0 for me for now, but it should be fine. So I hit compile and save, you should have something looking like this, but let me delete this and replug in the stuff that I did before. This speed that you promote a variable here, so when you promote it to a variable, let me delete my old copy. So when the speed is promoted to a variable, it allows you to access it at other parts of your game. So here you actually call upon this speed variable again, but I'll walk through this more later, right? Then you can see a preview here on the right, just to see based on your speed, similar to the other one before, but we can reset this to default. Okay, now let's see if it works. Press Alt P. Nope. Okay. Should be fine. We might be missing a few steps. So in the original, let's just go back to the animation graph. Okay. And let's go to the event graph here at the top. And let's go to the event graph here as well at the top for Kachugen BP. Alright. Now we need to copy all of these and essentially to put it back into Kachugen ABBP. Okay. So let's copy everything. One thing to note here is that in the original, there's a variable called isInAir, so we want to create something similar in Kachugen ABBP. So if you recall, we made a speed variable before, right? In the idle run state, so we promote this to a variable, and that went over here. So yeah, a variable allows you to access that variable in other parts of your game, essentially. So let's create a variable called isInAir question mark. That'll be the same color as the one in the original, and we should be able to copy all of these. So you can click and then shift click just the rest of these, all of these, Control C, then copy into here, Control V, and we just plug this execute value in here. And this is where the graph formatter comes in. If you recall, that'll be the one that we did a while ago, graph formatter. You'll have this little pop-up here like format graph. You can click that, but you can also do the shortcut Alt plus F, and that should format your entire graph for you. Let's hit recompile here, just recompile that and save. That should be running. So let's try to understand what's going on here. So in the event that the blueprint is updated, it tries to get the pawn owner. In this case, that'll be your character. It's kind of mumbo jumbo right now, but it does make sense the more you work on stuff. So yeah, it tries to grab your character here, and if that is valid, it proceeds and it sets. Let's ignore this for a while. Actually, this is not really relevant for now. Let me just put that here, saying jumping. So yeah, this relates to like the jump function, but we're not going to do that yet. So if you want to get rid of a no connection, you click Alt on your keyboard and you left click. That should remove it. And yeah, let's just click these and reorganize them by pressing Format Graph or Alt F, compile then save. So essentially it's trying to find your character, and once it does find your character, it's gonna set the speed of your character. So the speed here. And it tries to get the velocity, the current velocity of your character, and it's converting that to a float value. So originally it's like a yellow value, right? It's converting it to essentially a green value that you can plug into here to your speed. But yeah, no need to fully understand it quite just yet. That should be everything to make sense of, and let's see if it works now. So Alt P. Nope, not yet. We might be missing a step here as usual with coding, but it's fine, we've got this. Let's go back to your third person character, so that should be back in player, third person character. And let's go into character movement here in the viewport. Or was it mesh? I think it was a mesh. Yeah. And then we go into animation blueprint here, and we just point it to the Cartesian ABP, because right now it doesn't know which blueprint to use, so we're just pointing it to the right place, and hopefully this will start working. Okay, cool, yeah. At speed 0, at idle, it's playing this idle animation, and let's just Alt P and play again, and your character should be running. Cool. There is your character movement. She can jump, but there's no jump animation yet, so it's kind of just, yeah, she's kind of just floating, you know. But that's up to you. If that's, you know, a style that you want, feel free to do so. Congratulations, your character now moves with somewhat animations. Yeah, great. Alright, let's just head to the content browser and click save all. Make sure all progress are saved, because Unreal Engine does have a habit of crashing, as with most programs. Okay. You now successfully have a running character. So for now, we'll actually save the jump animation for a later date or later part tutorial, because it is quite complex, surprisingly, getting that to work. So we'll come back to that later. Should be good. Okay.